sorry, that's going to get really tiresome very quickly, isn't it?
Ooh.
Well, there's reason for that on this very special Halloween Alf-splaining with me, Ben Baker.
And me, John Matthews.
And this is a Halloween-themed episode of the sitcom Alf, which first went out on October 26, 1987, so very nearly 37 years ago to the day.
To the moment.
For the very moment indeed, for the moment of true horror. Whether that'll be this podcast, I don't know. And the episode what we're going to talk about today is Some Enchanted Evening. Well, at least if you're in English-speaking countries.
You know what's happened again. I've left the DVD cover in the other room. I'll do an insert later, right?
Oh, you can go get it now.
Well, all right. I'll get it now. This will be kind of funny when you come back to edit it. You hear me sort of leaving the room and then sort of walking out and going here and then coming back again. And I'm back in the room.
See, I was going to cut all this out of the episode, but it's such wonderful, I don't know, time and distance. It's giving people a little bit of the behind-the-scenes peek at really how the magic is made and truly how the cat pie is baked, so to speak, here at Alf-splaining.
It's an extra special long episode this week.
It bloody isn't.
Walking around.
Yeah, on Patreon we'll add an extra 3 hours of just pottering about. Just doing his accounts, that sort of thing, washing the car. Just Alf extras. So, as I said, please do get yourself to patreon.com/Alf-splaining-extra for stuff. Not that, obviously, but good stuff, honestly. But yeah, John, of course, has the German DVDs of Alf, and so he always gives us at this point the German title for Alf.
Well, it's a good job we did that 5-minute detour, because it's quite a complicated title. The title of this is Das Kostümfest, which means the costume party.
Beautiful. No notes at all. That is straight to the point, as ever with the German titles.
Yeah.
So this one rated, 18.5 million people watched this in America on the night.
Magic.
And it came betwixt the Golden Girls and Newhart in the ratings, which is a fine company to be in.
Yeah.
It was directed once again by Gary Shimokawa. And we've got a new writer, Seth Weisbord.
Oh, yes. I meant to look him up, but I forgot. What's he done?
Well, he did 3 episodes of Alf, which is
Right.
enough for anybody's career.
Yeah.
Which is a good job because he hasn't really got much on his IMDb.
Oh.
And yet, still manages to get in episodes of Charles in Charge,
No.
Coach,
No.
and Who's the Boss?
Ooh.
Which means, due to the fact that they reuse script ideas from Who's the Boss, he has 2 writing credits on the upper hand.
No way. Oh, that is fabulous. Oh,
Yeah.
God love him.
Yeah. So there you go. Sadly, they didn't do a British remake of Alf, which would have been brilliant. The Brighton Alfs. Married with Alfs.
What was that? Married with Children thing?
Married for Life.
Married
with
for Life. That was
Russ
it, yeah.
Abbott as a Al Bundy type.
Yes,
Yeah, it was
yes.
very odd. Very, very odd indeed.
Yeah.
And odd is the watchword, I would say, for this episode, which we've not had a structure quite like this one before in Alf.
No.
It's basically sketches. It's got a long opening scene. After the cold opening anyway, which we'll get to. Well, now, as we open with the kitchen, and bloody hell, it's only another costume for Brian.
Is this the 3rd costume opening we've seen for Brian?
Yeah, like literally the episode starts with, look, I've done a costume.
The episode so far seems to be either somebody on the phone, that's a regular opener, or Brian in a silly costume.
Which this time is a pirate. That needs reassurance for everybody that he's a pirate.
Yeah, nobody cares.
No one cares. And then the lad himself comes in dressed in an ugly vest, bow tie, glasses, and a big plastic fake nose, leading to a huge woofer right out of the gate.
Good morning. What are you wearing? Touch of your aftershave.
Beautiful.
Solid gag.
Great joke.
So Alf is dressed here as who, John?
He's dressed as Gene Shalit, everybody.
Which, obviously, Alf goes, too obscure.
Not obscure enough for me, because that was my pop culture reference of the week.
I thought it might be, so let's get it out of the way now.
It's the earliest one so far, 38 seconds in. And
yes.
Even Alf thinks it's an obscure pop culture reference of the week himself. Yeah, Gene Shalit's one of those people you know from, well, Family Guy cutaways mainly. A writer, journalist, television personality, the big, massive, fluffy moustache and big curly hair.
Yeah, that's mainly what you know him for, his bow ties and his big moustache. Bit of stuff like The Critic and stuff like that. He was on the Today Show on NBC, so they're very much keeping it in-house at Alf there.
Good morning and welcome to the Critics' Corner. If the mathematics geniuses at Princeton's Institute for Advanced Studies see Face Off, I defy them to calculate the total rounds of ammunition blasted from pistols and automatic weapons. They should calculate the number of fires, shattered windows, plane crashes, boat smashes, beatings, choking, stabbing, explosions in this new John Travolta, Nick Cage action movie.
And it was on for 40 years. Only retired in 2010.
I was trying to think of a British equivalent of Gene Shalit, but I couldn't really put my finger on
No,
one.
there's not really. Certainly not in that sort of breakfast show companion.
There's some sort of mid-range between Giles Brandreth and Stephen Fry.
Yeah. And he's still with us. I hope. Anyway, by the time this comes out, he's 98.
Ah.
But Alf is excited. He's dressed as Gene Shalit because he wants to do some trick-or-treating. In particular, bobbing for cats.
Bobbing for cats.
Because, again, he eats cats. It's very funny. Good. Well done.
Yeah, the cat stuff is still playing well. Indeed. Donald Trump said that Haitian immigrants are eating cats, and all of a sudden, Alf, the lad himself, was everywhere on all the social medias. So it's such a thing that's ingrained in people's consciousnesses over the years that Alf eats cats. It really did stick with people, and to a surprising degree, I think.
So which theme tune have we got this week?
It's the old one.
Selborne again, innit? I don't know why we've had 6 episodes, one with a new theme tune.
Yeah, it was a nice theme tune, but
so,
it was a mistake.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Very odd. I'm hoping it's going to come back, but we'll see. But yeah, as I said, they're a very weird structure to this episode because felt like the cold open just sort of cuts.
Yeah.
And then it comes back in the bedroom. It's night time and Willie can't sleep.
This is the thing. Alf has walked in dressed as Gene Shalit because he wants to go out trick-or-treating, and they go, no way, Alf, you can't do that. It's too dangerous. No, you're not going out. But Alf points out it's the perfect time of year for him to wear a costume and go out trick-or-treating. Then we cut to Willie and Kate in bed, and Willie can't sleep. Now, I instantly assumed he couldn't sleep because he was worried about Alf going trick-or-treating. But no, he's worried about his job promotion. And I thought, this is a different episode.
It's so. It's basically Willie is worried his boss is taking him off a big teen runaway project without bothering to explain to new viewers that he's a social worker. I mean, we're supposed to all know the Willie law by now, apparently.
Willie is chasing teen runaways around California
for pleasure. But there's no jokes here for like 2 minutes. It's just a melodrama, just a couple sat in bed talking about worries over work. And it's well done. I mean, the actors are really good. It shows the range of them, but it's not what we're here for. So Kate tries to cheer up Willie with a kiss and maybe some coitus.
Yes, the annual getting together of the Tanners.
It must have been Sunday night. So for the 437th time this season, Alf interrupts.
The looming silhouette, you can see the light crack through the door and the looming silhouette of young Gordon Shumway. Oh, good, you're up, he says.
Yeah, and my top Willie moment came here because Willie, who is just about to get his tops and fingers, basically goes, Get out of here!
I wrote that as my top Willie as well.
It was just such beautiful frustration, and for fuck's sake!
I know.
Every time!
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. It's delivered so. I mean, you'll obviously have pasted it in either then or next.
Oh, good, you're up. Get out of here. Not until we get this Halloween thing straightened out.
We already said no, Alf. You cannot go out trick-or-treating for candy.
Come on, Will Height. This body's the perfect Halloween costume. Besides, I have to get out and see new faces. Why, you ask?
I didn't ask why.
Well, would you?
Why?
Why what?
Why do you have to get out and see new faces?
Why the third degree? I just want to go trick-or-treating.
So Alf has been denied trick-or-treating. And again, it feels like we've jumped from the start to this bit. It feels like there's something either been deleted or, again, with those 20-hour days, they just went, just forget. We'll just work it out. Yeah. We'll just let people sort of put the link together in their own head. So Alf is here in the middle of the night to justify his case for being allowed to go trick-or-treating, which he assumes Kate has an issue with because of cavities.
Yes.
But no, because you know what?
What?
He brushes once a month.
That's all he needs to, really, isn't it?
Like clockwork. Which, again, as a message to young people watching,
It's fine. I'm
not sure that's the grace. I'm not sure they'd allow it now. But he has only got like 4 teeth, so it's fine.
Well, exactly, that's it, you know. I mean, as long as they're still there, I think he's probably fine.
Yeah, so we get some lovely Alf pootling puppetry.
Oh, yes.
In this scene. He sort of pootles around the bed back and forth.
It's really good. No, it was unusual, and again, it brought a level of realism and, inverted commas, humanity to the lad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always what we come back to is like Paul Fusco's puppeteering is so good. You kind of don't think about it, but you also kind of, when something happens, you go, oh yeah, that's a puppet there.
Impressive. It's just, it impresses you. And
it's fine. I mean, I'm very easily impressed, but that's why I'm hosting an Alf-based review podcast. So, so Alf is being denied, so he's brought a petition to try and allow freeing the Halloween one.
Free the Halloween one?
It's a petition signed by America's most prominent citizens.
We demand that you let Alf go trick-or-treating. Signed Presidents Reagan, Carter, Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury.
This is your handwriting.
Hey, it's a joke, man. My way of saying let the funny little alien have a crack at the outside world for one lousy night.
Which is actually a very funny car joke. I gave a sensible chuckle at that.
Which does have a follow-up.
All right. I'm taking this to the Supreme Court.
All the way to Chief Justice Pontiac, I suppose.
It's just good stuff.
Oh,
it's quality gear. I love how they know that it's been a signature by Alf. Like Willie recognises his handwriting. It's like, so this has happened a fair few times. So Alf goes, you know what? Let's play ball. Let's have a bit of quid quo away. It's like, you let me go out for Halloween, I'll tell you how you get that promotion. Which, obviously, Willie is like, how do you know about that promotion? So we get a little bit of business here.
The amazing Alf knows everything.
Was the amazing Alf listening at our door again?
The amazing Alf never reveals his secrets.
So apparently the amazing Alf not only he's a cuckold. I think he was hoping to catch. Anyway, we've discussed if Alf's a pervert before, and
we've come to our conclusions.
Yeah, it's fairly likely. But Alf suggests to Willie that they look for dirt on his boss, who's basically screwed Willie over, he would say. And Willie is not in a mood to suck up to him, which Alf wants them to do, because he quite fairly says, no, I haven't done anything wrong. He's most belligerent about it. And Alf says, well, why don't we have a party? Let's butter him up. And this is my most impenetrable pop culture reference of the week.
I thought it might be.
Purely because I knew you'd go for Gene So when Alf suggests buttering up his boss to earn a promotion, Willie replies, I'm not buttering up to my boss. Who do you think I am? Dagwood Bumstead? Who is, of course, a character from the American comic strip Blondie. which has been running since 1930
My God.
in American news. So I'm fairly sure it was over here. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't.
It must have been on over here because it's something I know of.
Yeah, I don't. It's not something I'm familiar with in any real form, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, it's a long-running strip about a sort of perfect housewife, blonde, and a sandwich-loving husband. And basically, there was a long-running film series.
Pretty face, funny hat. That's what my blondie is.
Lovable feet, both flat. That's what my Dagwood is.
Blondie's not always right. I let her think she is.
All of my thoughts are bright, long as he thinks they're his.
Life with us is
Fun and crazy,
baby dumplings.
us and Daisy,
What a family. Incredible, bumsteadable.
hurry, you'll miss your bus.
Watch out, you'll burn your stew. Nothing's too much for us. As long as with me there's you.
Dagwood and Blondie,
Blondie and Dagwood, always with me there's you.
A couple of TV shows and a massive radio program. So he's a massive part of American culture, which is why the fake audience go wild for it.
Yeah.
Whilst also, it's a great way of pointing out the hackiness of the premise because they are going to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, the inviting one's boss for dinner plot, beloved by every single sitcom that has ever existed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a staple for a reason.
Mm.
It's straight in for the drama and, dare say, comedy. But they're like, we're not doing that. We'll have a little party though. It'd be nice to have a little get together, a little dinner party for just a couple of chums from work. That'd be nice. We don't do enough like that. ...
Again, talking of Alf pootling around the bed, at this point he pootles out of the room, mumbling, "Oh, brother," under his breath because his scheme hasn't really come to pass. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that very much.
Although I also enjoyed them talking about you-know-who. And Alf goes,
Yeah.
You mean all those times you complained about you-know-who? It was me? Which I thought was a lovely line. So that was quite a long scene. There's about 6 minutes there just in the bedroom, this little three-hander.
A 6-minute three-hander in the bedroom, you say?
Well, it would have been if Alf hadn't interrupted, certainly. Could have just joined in. No one would have said out. Anyway, so... we cut to the presumably Halloween night, and the party's all ready to go, and some trick-or-treaters are here as the Three Stooges.
Yeah, only 2 of them, though.
Just 2 of them, because...
Mo had to take a dump.
No, he said Mo had to go to the bathroom, so I just assumed he was todding in their garden while they were doing... because he's like, if Al's probably out there doing it as well. Spoilers.
Probably.
And when they go, Willie says, More Stooges?
Yeah, nice.
So I assume there was a boom.
Well, yeah, Alf did a Three Stooges impersonation, didn't he, a few episodes back, and we covered them, whether they were still culturally relevant at this point in time. They must have been.
It'd be like the Gilligan's Island situation. They've just been on all the time in syndication.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the kids loved it.
Well, it's like that time in the early 80s when all the kids around our area were dressed as Harold Lloyd for Halloween.
Hanging on the clocks and stuff.
Hanging on the clocks.
Buildings falling over all the time. And it was a great time. There is a video game of the Three Stooges which is on the Amiga from like the late 80s. So
really,
yeah, I think it's a Cinemaware game. It's very odd.
I don't doubt that.
Hey, this looks like a kid game. You idiots!
Too much to go into at this point, because unfortunately we have to get to one of the serious parts of the task we have been given, reviewing these episodes, and that is, of course, the IMDb factual errors.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. It's just part of it. It's we take the good, we have to have the bad as well.
I suppose we do.
So Brian and Lynn arrive home, and they've clearly whizzed round very, very quickly doing trick or treating because Lynn wants to get back for Lizard.
Yes,
And Lizard, as keen listeners to this program know, has already been referred to. He took Lynn to see Inner Space a couple of episodes previous. Yet this episode is supposed to be his first introduction.
That's poor. That is.
Yeah, so
poor.
yes, it's not much. It's it's what we have to do as professionals. Unfortunately, we have to address these situations.
Yes.
And it will obviously affect our final grade on the program.
I wonder if there's an order we should be watching these episodes in, not the broadcast order, the order that the cognoscenti perhaps think we should be watching the Alf episodes in to make it make sense.
Or when we've gone through them all, we'll just do them all again in the production order. That'd be
I'm keen. Keen.
We'll find ways to just constantly wring this dry. I tell you what's even more shocking than an IMDb factual error, though, John.
Yes.
Brian gets a good joke. He's second in ever.
I mean, I don't know if I'm just being extra sympathetic to Brian because of the terribleness of the Three Stooges that have just been on, because the children acting were appalling, the Stooges. They don't even get credited or anything, so I assume they must be stagehands kids who are just wheeled up and told to do something and wheeled off again. Or maybe we feel bad about sort of slagging Brian off in season 1. But
we didn't do it. We're not responsible.
The frog joke was outstanding.
Lizard.
You heard that too?
What kind of name is Lizard?
I have a friend at school called Frog.
Well, why do they call him that?
Because he's a frog.
Makes sense.
I love that joke. I thought it was brilliant.
Delivered well as well.
It gets a follow-up funny as well, to be honest with you, because after that, he tells us he's got to go to the garage to give Alf his share of the candy.
Oh, yes.
70%.
But of course, Alf wanted 90.
Yeah, it's beautiful arsehole.
Yeah, there's a couple of things there. There's a beautiful thing where Brian comes back in and Willie goes, would you look at all that booty? But he does it in his normal voice.
Yeah.
Doesn't even try to impersonate a pirate. He just says it in his normal Willie voice.
Oh, Blackbeard is home.
And look, will you look at all that booty? Arr!
But yeah, it's just a man saying,
Yeah.
It's not there, really, is there?
They share out the candy. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Perhaps an American could tell us what it is. But it looked very uniform, the candy, like it had all come from the same pack.
Yeah, it looked very like Werther's, that kind of sort of toffees. But yeah, it didn't look like there was a mix of all sorts of things in there. It was literally just like, right, let's open this packet. With the party is now in full swing. Alf is in the garage, and that's the last we'll be seeing him because obviously he's not allowed to come to the party. So it's a nice, grown-up, sensible party, and the first person who arrives is Lizard.
Yes,
who we expect to be, because obviously Lynn's had some rough and ready boyfriends before.
Yep.
Lash at the start of the last series.
He plays against our expectations. I wrote down the platonic ideal of a lanky streak of piss.
I put he was a lovely boy called Eric.
Bit of a wise guy.
Yeah.
Likeable.
Quantum physics is his first love, he says, which wows Willie and immediately offers the hand in marriage.
Yeah, Willie's in a very cheeky mood at this point. He's, you can have my daughter's hand in marriage. He's so delighted that she's not brought home some sort of tramp from behind the dumpster.
Yeah. So the guests arrive, or the first guests arrive, should I say, and weirdly, they're dressed as cowboys, which it is confusing because it's not one of those Halloween costumed parties, surely.
Well, Ed and Bernice, they're called, and Willie does indeed observe they're wearing costumes.
In a kind of tough response almost. And then no sooner have they arrived than his boss arrives. Oh no, not the boss! I said I didn't want him here. Etc. Etc.
It's not the man from the Terminator that we saw last time when he was in the office, is it? It's a completely different man, a proper stuffy old boss, a very tall old man who doesn't really want to be there.
Yeah, and this is Richard Roth playing Mr. Burke, who is another one with a mile-long IMDb, running from Car 54, Where Are You, in 1962 to 24 in 2009.
My God.
That's not a bad run.
Did you come across his other interesting fact, though?
Which is?
He prepared taxis for entertainers for more than 50 years.
No, I didn't, but that is a great fact. I'll tell you why I didn't notice that, because I was looking up his wife.
Melanie Noble.
Yeah. So I looked at her IMDb, and rather less on it. With the films Nerds of a Feather
Yeah.
And Vice Academy 4 jumping out.
Yeah, it was no Vice Academy 3.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know if I'd follow up plot.
I mean, we're talking about these, but we're also the same with Ed and Bernice, who just saw arrive earlier. Ed being played by Louis Arquette there, head of the Arquette acting dynasty.
Yes.
But again, his wife, an actress of no real repute, as it were.
Yeah. I don't. You know what? I'm just going to say it now. Bernice.
Yeah.
My MVP of the episode.
Really?
I genuinely, she doesn't have much to do, but everything she does, she throws in with absolute gusto.
Oh, yeah.
And she is clearly enamoured with the life and soul of the party. Soon to arrive. But first,
yes.
more costumed people arrived.
Yeah,
and
generic.
Willie seems to be now finally picking up on some clues that something might not be quite as he assumed it would be.
I think we could talk about Willie's wardrobe now. He's wearing his sort of funeral suit again because, in an episode about a costume party, you'd hope to get some classic Willie's wardrobe. But, of course, they don't know it's a costume party because Alf or somebody has sent out the invitations.
This was a close second for Top Willie. Just like, I don't know who that was or why he did it, but I'm going to go in the garage and strangle him is a beautiful thing. But there's no need because, ding dong, who's at the door?
Hey, hiya, folks. Hey, you look good in vinyl. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Hey, happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween! Say, what are you doing here?
Greeting the guests. Hey, Tex. Looks like you're putting on a little weight there, huh?
Now this, I howled at. His arrival here, I cried laughing. This was a really funny visual gag. As we know, Alf, the show, does brilliant visual gags. This is a fabulous one.
Yeah, so Alf has added a zip to his front.
He's got a zip on him. It's just Alf, but he's got a zipper down his front.
Yes, as if it's a costume. And he's a whirlwind instantly.
Oh, yeah.
He's making gags at full level. And people aren't quite sure how to deal with him at first.
No.
Because he's, as I say, he's quite a lot to take in. And Willie says, "Oh, this is our friend." He doesn't try. There's no real. He could say he's a friend of Brian's or something, because he's so short. But no, they're just it's Gordon.
Willie says, "What are you doing here?" And I wrote, he said that he delivered that like he was passing a gallstone.
It was a choice. It was a definite choice. Let's say that. So Willie has to drag him off for some kitchen admonishment, where we get another absolutely fantastic zinger.
Yeah. Okay, mister, I want the truth, and I want it now.
All right. Your hair is thinning.
Brilliant, perfect.
So Alf, he's not taking the telling off because he's like, yeah, I did this great thing to help you schmooze your boss. Because, he's seen a lot of TV. So I think that's how you can kind of go, it's a bit cliche, but Alf gets everything from telly.
Yeah, good point.
It is rather wonderful.
Now,
and, he's basically going to say, I'm going to schmooze him for you because you won't do it.
Exactly.
Which Willie's not impressed about at all. But we do get a wonderful line also.
This joke is brilliant. Because I was hoping that the zipper would just remain unnoticed. It would just be there. And nobody would comment on it. But Willie does feel need to comment on it. And I thought, that's a bit of a shame. But it led to this fantastic joke.
Where did you get that zipper? Well, you know that old jacket you were going to throw out?
Yeah?
Better hang on to it. I ripped this out of your new raincoat.
It's a proper lovely bait and switch gag.
Beautiful.
Series 2, I'm noticing a lot more gag heavy. Well, that's Gene and Reese being on their script duties or whatever, I don't know. But so at this point, we're literally just back and forth, kitchen, living room, that sort of thing. Alf's working the room, doing his Elvis impression, wowing people. It's great stuff.
This was great for many reasons. I mean, the choice of song was brilliant as well. If you're going to do an Elvis impression, you pick one of the made ones, but Alf is doing In the Ghetto, which and very well. And you sort of wonder what the other party guests think is happening. This a midget just turned up as an alien and is doing his Elvis impression.
Yeah.
That's what they think they are watching.
A Borscht Belt-voiced New York alien.
I mean, is the Bride of Frankenstein that just turned up, is she going to do Dolly Parton all of a sudden now? But it was great. And Alf is having the time of his life.
He is the traditional big fat party guy.
It's almost depressing and sad that this will come to an end at some point. It'll go back to being the normal shut-in Alf.
Yeah.
Because, this is what Alf, this sitcom should be, just him dicking around with everybody.
And it is dicking around. Like I said, they're just like, it's just a bunch of stuff happening. Like he goes up to Lizard and says, what do you think alien life might be like? And, just bits and bobs, nothing particularly massively structured. And the whole point is basically it's just for Willie to kiss up to his boss. And Willie, once again, said, I'm not kissing up. I haven't done anything wrong. And the party continues. Alf, although we don't see it, apparently puts a lampshade on his head, which is Comedy 101.
Is that the sort of thing that happens at parties?
Again, I'm not a big fat party guy, so I don't know. Just the other three words. But he sets up some limboing.
Yeah.
And Willie's boss is, let's be honest, browbeaten.
Yeah.
By Alf.
Yeah. But the frost from Walter Burke seems to have dissolved a little bit. He seems to be getting into the spirit of things.
Well, he is, yeah, because he's seen absolutely demolishing the buffet, which is not. There's no real reason given for why he's doing it. He just
no.
It's just this. He's just like, hey, he's just a bloke, just a human man who loves small
sausages,
well, meatballs. Apparently. Is what they've there because they've run out. So obviously, limbo, old man, crack, ouch. He's done his back, hasn't he? So he's bent over the table in the next scene, and Alf uses this time while the party's over. Party's over. Everybody out. Boss has done his back in. Alf's got to rub this man now on the table for entirely legitimate reasons.
Well, at this point, Lynn says to Lizard, is there anything you can do? And Lizard says, well, I could remove his brain. Which was a good gag for a newcomer. To give a newcomer a gag that good and delivered well. I hope we see him again, quite frankly.
I'm assuming. I hope so, because we've back referenced him before he's even appeared, so it would help. So while Al's massaging the boss's back and everyone else has gone, he's basically saying, right, it's time to give Willie that promotion now. Come on, let's not be daft. Because he's got him basically where he wants him. Yeah. In a state of absolute pain whilst being rubbed off on the tape. But you know what I mean anyway.
We know what you mean.
But, he's bigging up Willie when Willie walks in and says, Alf! Which Alf goes, no, Gordon.
Yeah.
And the boss doesn't question it.
I don't quite understand why that happened.
Yeah.
Why Willie miscalled him Alf? I don't know.
I mean, why break the habit of an entire series?
Well, yeah.
I guess. So, but Willie hears Alf try to get him the promotion. And he's like, no, stop it. I didn't do anything wrong. You took that thing off me. I really worked hard at that. And, of course, the boss goes, oh, well, why didn't you say so? Have the project back and the promotion. Yeah. And it's like, oh, good. Yes.
But it's all too vague for me, this. I mean, if Willie's getting a promotion, does that mean he's still doing the same project he was doing when he was on his original job? Or will he have new duties now? Who took over the project from him for that one day when he didn't have it? Are they going to get now demoted or something?
Well, I'll tell you who isn't getting that promotion.
Who's that then?
It's only Simmons.
Oh, not Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons, that's the guy. He's not pulling his weight. Get rid of him. There's a parking space right there. Oh, yeah, and let's talk overtime.
Overtime?
O-T, yeah, overtime.
That's another scene that goes on too long as well. So there's another scene that could have sort of faded out within about 10 seconds with Alf reeling off demands, but it does continue for some considerable time.
It does. And then we just have a little tacked-on scene right at the end where, as a reward for all the things he's got Willie, Alf gets to go trick-or-treating, but it's presumably about sort of 1:30 in the morning now. Based on the whispering and creeping about they're doing.
Your voice, Alf. You're supposed to be a child. The door opens. Play the clip, because Alf's child voice is very funny.
Come on, Willie.
No, Alf, it's too risky. I think we better go.
Hey, you owe me. After all, I got you an office with a window.
But I liked Simmons. I really did.
Trick or treat! Trick or treat!
Alf, your voice. You're supposed to be a child.
Right, no problem.
Hello, young man.
Hello, old woman.
So it's too late. All the candy's gone, but not to worry. The old lady of the visit has a lot of cats.
Yeah.
Start with a cat gag, end with a cat gag. Cats aloft.
Alf says he'll take a yellow one. But yes, the old woman there, fans of quality television of the 70s and 80s will recognise her as Miss Tisdale, the postmistress from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Good. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, no, we're not Dukes of Hazzard splaining, but in fairness, you only really able to see half an episode of Dukes of Hazzard, and everything else is probably much the same.
If we did, would it be Duke splaining or Hazard splaining?
Yeah, Duke splaining, I think.
Duke splaining, yeah, probably the case. So that's it. Basically, that's your episode. It was very bitty, very funny.
Yes.
Very standard sitcom tropes, but it does back very much of, we've got a lot of people in this tiny set, and the usual fannying about with Alf might not cut it.
I just realised I didn't pick an MVP this week, and I'm trying to do it one off the top of my head now, and the only person I can think of in this episode is Alf.
Alf's great, or Gordo.
Gordo, as they kept referring to it, he really stands out. He's so happy and so full of beans and just, everywhere, all the way through, being a joy.
Obviously, there's a level of how irritating is Alf, because he's going to be doing something wrong, and he does here, for good reasons again. That's kind of the best terrible Alf, in it, kind of like when he's doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah,
it's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, there was one thing that struck me as well as Walter Burke, the boss, was lying on the table and being massaged by Alf. He was like literally inches away from Alf's gaping mouth, and could clearly see that it was not a costume. I'm suspending my disbelief.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Assuming that Alf is really an alien, he would have been able to see Alf's tonsils from that distance, and. Yeah, that struck me as something that perhaps he should have mentioned.
Well, do you know, I'm going to end this episode with a little bit of a thing which hasn't actually come up with, but the biggest costume of Halloween 1987, when this went out,
yeah,
was Alf.
Well, I never did, really.
In the back room of her daughter Peggy's costume rental shop, Shirley Potter is busy putting the finishing touches on Alf costumes. She's had to sew 3 of them so far. Each takes about 3 hours to do. Then there's the mask. That's another 2 hours.
Alf, at my age, he's just one of these things, these fatty things that come along. As I said to Peggy, I hope he's still popular next year.
That's it from us. Thank you so much for joining us. Ever, we're on the socials. You know we're on the socials. We're all about those socials when we are on them. Certainly, we're on eggs. Eggs, not eggs, not eggs. Eggs. The letter X. It's Twitter, but we've got a face fax. So he's not changing it back.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, and of course, we're on Patreon as well.
Yeah, Patreon one is Alf Splaining Extra because it is all extra.
It is.
And Facebook, I think we'll come like the friends of Alf Splaining due to some
nonsense,
dodgy shenanigans.
Just nonsense.
We got banned, basically.
Yeah.
Go look us up. Wherever you look, we'll be there lurking.
We'll be lurking because it's Halloween still. Just remember, it's Halloween. I know we're recording this in June, but that's Halloween. It's fine. It's like when Bing and Bowie got together. It's great. It'll all work out. We'll be dead by the time this goes out, so it's fine.
Here's hoping.
Fingers crossed. Ta-ra, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
Is the life of this party.